Hello, once again, one and all. Welcome back to Conquest of Azeroth. Taking a look at level 30 Cultist today. And before we get into the spec, we're going to talk about the class. At level 30, Cultist gets some fun abilities. You get access to Wicked Thought, which I want to say is Wicked Thoughts. Oh no, that's level 20. But you get access to, Embrace the Void, which is basically for 6 seconds. You don't get to die unless basically they kill you twice. And when the effect ends, you heal instantly for 50% of the damage you've taken while it's alive, while it's up, which means you can heal a huge amount of your health in the blink of an eye. You have Hallucination, which makes 3 copies of yourself. And this sounds like it's going to be interesting. I haven't used it yet. What I have used is Entropic Singularity. It basically drops an AoE, which slows enemies the closer to the center it is. This is really good for locking down a group of enemies, either in PvP or PvE. Talent-wise, there's not really much really good you get your hands on at this level. But with all that said, let's take a look at the spec now. Heretic. Oh my god, Heretic. It is still my favorite spec. It is strong. It does stupid amounts. It does decent amounts of damage. Not stupid amounts, but respectable amounts. Its healing is insane because it's just an AoE healer. It is the most fun spec I have played so far, next to Demo. And I only like Demo because, boom. You don't get many new abilities at from level 20 to 30, but you do get a couple good perks. I mean, passives. As the prophecy foretold, Serenite Mind. The passive for level 30 is pretty good as well, but you won't get any abilities till like level 35, maybe 40, which is a little sad. But again, this spec is stupid. It's strong. In raids later in the game, I expect this damn thing to excel, just because it can either be used as played as a DPS or as a healer. Like, I could see Heretics queuing as DPS and no one caring. And I love the fact that as you're playing this, it's trying to give you freaking cloth gear, and you're like, fuck that, no, I want strength and knit gear, I want pally gear because this is fun. Ugh. With all that out of the way, this sits at S tier. This is the first S tier spec I'm going to put out there because, oh my gentle Jesus, it's fun. In PvE, this thing's a cakewalk. Leveling, this thing's a cakewalk. You can just keep yourself alive as long as you don't pull too much. As long as you're careful, forget about ever dying. Like, it does suffer from mana problems, and that's mostly because your only way to mitigate mana is your Sanity Tap, which restores 20% of your missing mana, and after like the first 2 uses, it kind of sucks for 20 insanity. So you're constantly running at low mana to make that the most useful it can be, but goddamn is it fun. With all that out the way, next we're going to take a look. God damn it, we're gonna go take Jesus Christ. We're gonna go take a look at Godblade as soon as this thing gets up. Alright. Godblade! Godblade's fun. It's not as fun as Heretic, but it's definitely at level 30, it is fun. At level 30, up at the level 20 to 30, you get access to things like Void Seeker, which causes your Nether Strike to have a chance of instant resetting and being freely usable, which is good. You get access to, Hysterical Momentum. You get access to Residual Energy, which doubles the duration of your Shadows of the Void passive, which is really good for helping keep your mana up. And you get access to one of my favorite abilities, Empire's Grasp. And in the clip, you'll see it in use. Basically, this teleports an enemy to you and slows them for 60 seconds for 4 seconds. I have had this happen to me a couple times. It's jarring because it's just suddenly you're moved and you don't know what the fuck happened until you're getting slapped by a cultist. Now, some classes, like Barbarian, like Primalist, like Fellsworn, can get away from you. but it's still just yanking them out of position and putting them in a position where they can either get stunned or swarmed by your team. In PvP, this is, it's almost like a Knight of Zoroth's chain. It is just oppressive to use against an enemy, but it's so much fun. Damage wise, it still sits about the same. It's a strong melee spec. It's fun. It's fluid. Keeping its mana up is relatively easy with using Sanity Tap. Again, you're still playing at low mana, but you do, again, as long as you keep your mana tap up and you pay attention to your mana, not that difficult. Okay. Next, we're going to take a look at the caster spec, Corruption. Corruption still sits exactly where it sits before, but it definitely gets access to quite a few new abilities. You have access to my brain just fried. You have access to Psychic Suppression as an ability, which puts an enemy in the air and does a decent amount of damage. It also causes them to take more damage while you're casting on them. Great lockdown and an easy way to lock down an important target and just eat them. You get Worrisome Idol, which gives you increased spell haste and causes you to regenerate 1% of your missing mana every 10 seconds. This compared with your Sanity Tap and its extra percentage gained from Moment of Clarity early in your spec tree, really good. You generate a shit ton of insanity though, so you have to constantly either using Sanity Tap to keep your insanity low. You can use Wrath of the Black Empire, but really, it's almost 3-second cast time. It's kind of atrocious. That really needs to be lowered down to at the very least 2 to feel fair to use. Otherwise, just use Sanity Tap to keep your mana low, and just unload with everything else you got. Oh, sorry, allergies are acting up today. It still plays pretty well. It actually does a fair bit more damage than it did. It feels like it did before. I'd still put it under Godblade mostly because it's a caster and it suffers from caster problems, and that's just a me thing. You get some abilities to increase your tentacle damage. You get all kinds of stuff. In the test factory, and I'm not going over every talent. So by all means, if you think you like what you're seeing in the class as you're watching these clips, feel free to take a look at their specs and just read through the talents, see what's good. What I use may not be what you want to use. With all that out of the way, we're going to take a look at the last and unfortunately worst spec, Dreadnaught. Oh my god, Dreadnaught. I was hoping it'd feel better, and it does, but not enough. It is so... I can feel it wants to play well, but it sucks. It plays like a prop pally, and it just does not have the same staying power. Your mana runs out just as quick as everything else, and Sanity Tap is good, but you don't have much to spend anything on. I mean, you get Dreadfall, which is a fun ability. It's a charge, and it deals damage to anything you pass through, and it gives you additional threat. You have Eldritch Strength in your 20-30 bracket, which causes your Hammer of Twilight and Tropic Slam to deal 25% more damage and generate more threat. But it's just... I mean, you have an AoE Interrupt, too, which is good. But you just don't have a lot of ways to generate, to get through your man, to keep hitting things. You have Wavering Hope, which does help you with the cooldown of your shield toss. While you're above 60 insanity, it causes your shield toss to have 25% reduced cooldown, but that's only 2 seconds. Instead of a 8-second cooldown, it's a 6-second cooldown. And it still just doesn't feel good to have to wait 6 seconds to use that ability. It just really doesn't, and for some reason, that was a weird tone I just had. What the fuck? And you have plenty of ways of generating insanity, but not a lot of ways to spend it, and not a lot of really good ways to hold aggro. And your damage is really lackluster. Like, I've seen plenty of tanks do stupid amounts of damage, but just Dreadnaught does not have the same amount of damage, and it has an issue holding on to aggro. And I definitely felt that in the dungeons I did with it. It sits at the bottom of the pack of specs. I am unfortunately going to say. I'm hoping, I'm begging it feels better in the next level cap or endgame or something. I'm praying it does. But as it stands right now, it just does not feel fun to play. And that is sad because I do enjoy playing tank specs. So with all this out the way, where would I put Cultist? Cultist, unfortunately, has the biggest disparity between all of its specs. It really just has the biggest disparity between them. Like, I would put Heretic at S tier, Godblade and Corruption A tier, Dreadnought C tier at best. C tier, maybe low B tier. It just I really feel bad putting it that low, but it needs some help. It really needs some help at this level bracket. Um, all in all, Cultist is kind of all over the place, but it is definitely a class to give a try if you want something that's relatively easy to play and fun to keep you alive and level with. Um, the next 30 I'm going to do is either going to be Ranger or it's probably going to be Ranger, maybe Starcaller. I don't know. I will probably do a leveling stream for one of the other classes I have ready to go on Monday or Tuesday. No, Tuesday or Wednesday, because I don't know what could happen Monday, and I will probably be getting clips working on getting the other classes up to level 30 on Monday, so I can have some progress done before I get to the work on that whenever I have after the stream. With all that out the way, I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please feel free to leave a like or a comment below. A like lets me know you all want to see more of this, and a comment helps with the algorithm and lets me talk to you all, which I always enjoy. I enjoy talking in the constructive criticism and correcting me on shit. I have no problem being corrected. I know I'm not, the authority on this shit. I'm just basing off what I'm saying, off of how I feel as someone playing the class and going into it kind of blind when I do. So, by all means, if I get something wrong, please let me know. But with all that said, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.